Because you know I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs, verbs. Yeah, it's pretty clear that verbs show action, and they can shake it like they're supposed to do. Cause they got that action that all the words chase, and all the right nouns in all the right places. Now person, place, or thing, that's what nouns can be. We know that they are subjects, now let's use them right. If you've got adjectives, raise them up, cause every adjective describes nouns from the bottom to the top. Yeah, interjections, they end with an exclamation point. They show emotions like anger, excitement all the time. I know soon you'll know your parts of speech, just like me. So go on now and study before your big test. Because you know I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. No adjectives, I'm all about those verbs, about those verbs. Let's talk about nouns. A noun is the subject of a sentence, which basically means that it is what the sentence is talking about. So in the sentence, my dog is soft, we are talking about the dog, so the dog is the subject and also the noun. Nouns can be people, places, things, or ideas. A person may be Miss Baum, a place, Ohio. A thing could be a book, and an idea could be love or happiness. There are two specific kinds of nouns, and the first kind is proper nouns. And proper nouns are basically specific nouns, so it is a specific person, place, thing, or idea. These nouns require the first letter to be capitalized no matter where they are placed within a sentence, which sets them apart from common nouns, which are the other kinds of nouns that we're going to talk about. Common nouns are pretty much just regular words. They're non-specific nouns, so they do not require capitalization, which basically makes them like any other word. Now we are moving on to verbs. Verbs can either express an action or a state of being, and they basically describe what is going on within a sentence. There are two different types of verbs, and we're going to start with the lesser talked about, which are linking verbs. Linking verbs link the subject part of the sentence with the predicate that completes it. Now, I know that seems like a really big concept, but basically, if I had a sentence that said, the roses smell fresh, roses, as we talked about before, are the subject. Fresh is the predicate that completes that, so smell is considered the linking verb. Linking verbs show existence, and they do not describe action. So examples are am, is, taste, smell, sound. And then there are action verbs, and action verbs describe physical action. Action verbs tell about things that the subject can do. Jump, run, eat, swim, sit, stand. If a subject can physically do the things that the verb is describing, then it is an action verb. Moving on to pronouns. Pronouns are words that take the place of nouns. So instead of using a specific noun, a pronoun can be substituted in its place to add variety to sentences. With the exception of the word I, pronouns are common nouns, so they do not require capitalization. And there are two basic forms of pronouns, and the first are subject pronouns, and they are used in the subject portion of a sentence. So instead of saying Miss Baum, you would say she. Instead of saying Thomas, you would say he. And instead of saying Miss Baum and Thomas, you would say they. The other type of pronoun that is used are object pronouns. And object pronouns are used in the predicate part of a sentence after the preposition. We talked a little bit about the predicate in the verbs portion, but words that are object pronouns are me, him, her, them, us, and you.
Conjunction, junction, what's their function? I got and but nor, that gets you pretty far. And that's an additive, like this and that. But, well, that's sort of the opposite, not this, but that. And then there's or, O-R, when you got a choice like this or that. And but nor, that gets you pretty far. Conjunction, junction, what's your...
Now we've come to interjections. Interjections are words or phrases that express intense feeling. Interjections can be easily discovered because they end with an exclamation point, and that exclamation point shows urgency or excitement. They are normally positive statements, but they can be angry or hurtful depending on what context they're used in. So an example of this would be like, wow, exclamation point, or awesome, exclamation point. And the more negative ones would be, ouch, like you stubbed your toe, or oh no, like something bad had happened. Hooray! We've made it to the last section of our parts of speech lesson video. And now we have moved on to adjectives. Now, adjectives are words that describe nouns, and they explain more about the noun so that a reader can better understand the subject. They normally come before the noun, and they occasionally come after the noun if a linking verb is involved. So you come in contact with adjectives almost every day because, like I said before, they describe the subject of a sentence. So some examples of nouns are sparkly, beautiful, cold, soft, things like that. If you're describing what you're talking about in the sentence, then you're normally using an adjective.